Welcome, everyone. My name is Gina Mayberry, and most of you know me. I'm your newest, newly ordained minister. I've been for 2 weeks, and I'm very excited to be here tonight. It occurred to me when I was asked to take over tonight that although I know most of you, you really don't know probably all that much about me. And that this might be a very good opportunity to introduce you to someone who has helped me transform my life, as well as let you know a little bit about me and introduce you to some really awesome modality, which is quantum touch. And it was the first energy work I ever ran across. It was quite by accident. I was not on this path at all a year and a half ago. I was living in a state of real unawareness, but I have 2 dogs, and my journey actually started when we had that earthquake. My dogs were both rescue dogs, and they came with a lot of baggage. And part of that was anxiety, and after the day of the earthquake, they were under the bed, they wouldn't come out, they wouldn't eat. I thought I was going to have to take them to the bed. I came home early for lunch thinking, hoping they were still breathing. And, I was trying to coax them out from under the bed, and, then we had the earthquake, and I knew what it was, and I took them out. But after that, they had this terrible startle reflex, and they would bark when things happened that normally they wouldn't have barked at before. They were just on edge all the time, and so I started to look for a way to help them. And I started looking on the internet. I used to be a librarian. I'm pretty good at research. And I came up with all these things, and nothing really seemed to resonate with me. And about 3 months later, I ran across Quantum Touch website, and they had a story on the website about somebody running energy into a rabbit. And do you remember that, Miriam? And calming it down, and I couldn't stop thinking about that story, and I went back to that website probably 6 or 7 times. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I should take that workshop. And I started clicking to find out where it would be, and there was like one in South America, and one in Switzerland, and one in California, and Denver, and then all of a sudden, the next one said Fairfax, Virginia, and I'm like, whoa! And then I clicked again, and then it said Burke, and it's like I live in Springfield. It was just like, how does it get any better than this? And I clicked again, and it turned out it was 1.5 miles from my house. I could have walked there. And it was that coming weekend. It was like Wednesday, I think, and the workshop was Saturday. And I'm trying to get a hold of Miriam. It's like, I don't know anything about this. I don't do any energy work. And can I come? And she's like, well, if you feel you need to be here, absolutely come. I had no background, no idea what I was getting into. And we are in that class. The first segment of her class, she taught some breathing and sweeping techniques. And then she told us to grab a partner and work on something on each other that hurt. And this is like already boggling my mind because I don't know anything about energy. And but the only thing that hurt on me was my knees. And they had hurt since I was 17 years old and had a skiing accident. And I dislocated my kneecap. And I'd fallen on it again 6 years before I came into Miriam's class. And I was at a point where I could not walk up the stairs without putting both feet on each step, leaning heavily on the railing. I couldn't walk my dogs. I was paying the 9-year-old kid across the street to walk them twice a day. And I could barely get into the classroom. Do you remember this?
I could barely not being able to do some of the exercises.
Yeah, I couldn't even sit on the floor because I didn't think I could get back up. And well, anyway, I get paired with this massage therapist from Maryland who is there for her CEU credits, and she has her hands on my knee, and I told her, don't feel bad if nothing happens because I've been told I need surgery, and it's just, it's not your fault. And she has her hands on my knee, and it wasn't even 10 minutes, was it? And I'm getting hot, she got hot, I got really cold, and she got cold, and then she starts to cry. And she says, try your knee. And I was not even able to do this. And then she worked on the other knee, and we watched, it was a 2-day workshop. My knee had been so swollen, I couldn't even feel my kneecap. It was just all swollen. And we watched the swelling go down over the 2 days, the whole class. It just left. And you know, I was able to go home that night and ask my dog, do you want to go for a walk? And she just like jumped up on my lap and licked my face. I mean, it had been that long since I had been able to do that. And from then on, I wanted to learn everything I could learn about energy healing. And there was a woman in the class who said, I go to a healing church, as Teresa Mills, some of you know her. And she said, you need to come here. And she said, in fact, pick me up, so, you know, so I make sure you get there. And that's how I came to Racy Healing, and that was just like right after the class. And I've been here ever since. And, you know, there was another, I'm going to just take another minute and tell you how else quantum touch changed my life. I had had serious food allergies with tree nuts and peanuts my entire life, and I had come to, about a month before I had come to this workshop, I had gone to my allergist and said, you know, I need to get rid of these allergies, I don't want to die on accident. You know, my daughter had just lost her father, and I didn't want her to, you know, be an orphan at, you know, such a young age. And he said there was nothing that he could do except send me to Johns Hopkins, where they would desensitize me very slowly, like put me in the ICU. And I said, that's not what I'm looking for. And he said, don't go to those energy healers, because they'll just take your money. So I asked Miriam afterward, I had gone back to her for another session, because after my knees got healed, then my hips were out of line. And with it, she just like, it was like 2 seconds, she just went like this. It touched me just like lightly, and it was done, and it was like, oh my word. And I still can't really get my mind around what has just happened. But I asked her if quantum touch could deal with food allergies, and she said theoretically yes. I said, have you ever done it? And she said no. And I said, you want to try? Yes, I'm sure. So we worked on it for maybe about 5 sessions, and then a few months later I had a blood test, and it came up, I had no food sensitivity. I had the whole panel of blood tests, and I was not sensitive to any foods, and all of the tree nut allergies were gone. Peanuts had gone from severe to moderate. And when I went to see my new allergist, because the old one wouldn't see me anymore after I got to the energy healer, they wanted a blood test. The first words out of his mouth was, at least you're not going to die by accident now. And I thought, oh no, I limited it by setting the expectations so low. But anyway, I am like so excited and so happy to share Miriam Hunter with, and the one more part of the story, the final part of the story, or maybe not the final, the next part of the story, is that last summer, just this past summer, Miriam sent out an email asking if anyone knew anybody who was looking for office space. And so I jumped all over that, and I ended up now working in the very room where my knees got healed. And so that kind of feels like coming full circle a year and a half after we started this whole process together. But it is my very great pleasure to introduce Miriam Hunter to you. She and quantum touch have changed my life. I really doubt that had I not wandered in there that I would even have ever found you, much less be here tonight. And Miriam is a certified quantum touch practitioner and instructor, and she is also a mentor for the quantum touch new practitioners. So she's very, very qualified and very, very good at what she does. I can say that from very first-hand experience. And it's just my great pleasure to introduce you to her.